Hey folks, this is your instructor for HSEP302. We're here at the end of the semester, so I want to give a brief overview to prepare for the exam, which will be this upcoming week. My plan is to post the exam on Sunday, if not earlier, and for you to have a couple of days up until Friday to complete it. It'll follow the same format as the midterm exam. It'll be a multiple choice, fill in the blank, true, false, a couple of brief short answer questions. I'm not sure if I'll include a memo or not, but you might have a memo to do. I'm leaning more to a couple of more short answer questions to make sure that you have understood the course information. I just want to go over briefly the second half of the semester first, and then we'll go over the first half of the semester. So starting at the back, the last couple of weeks, and then essentially going in reverse. So last week, what I had asked you to do is read information related to the Certified Emergency Manager certificate, as well as some certificates offered by FEMA. This demonstrates how the emergency manager is constantly learning, that as a core component of being a professional is developing as a professional. So the CEM, the Certified Emergency Management Training, as well as the Continuity Operation Planning training, the Exercise Practitioner Certificate, as well as the Basic, Advanced, and Executive Academy are examples of how the field of emergency management has truly embraced continuous learning. And this is important in many different fields, but emergency management has truly embraced this over the last couple of years. So if you're interested in joining the field, try to identify ways to constantly learn, whether it's on your own through self-study, similar to the FEMA certificates that you all have that's a part of this course, or through specific certification programs like the ones that you reviewed online. The CEM is kind of the premier certification in terms of emergency managers. Still, a lot have not done it and taken it yet. I was able to get mine 6 months ago. Going back to week 16, we looked at future risks and threats. According to the syllabus, you were to look at the Rockefeller Foundation 100 Resilient Cities Initiative via their website. Also, FEMA Strategic Foresight Initiative. There was also a video by Jeff Mathers about the 9 biggest weather disasters in the next 30 years. Clearly here we're talking about climate change and the impact of climate change, sea level rise, and what that impact will have on different populations around the world. The FEMA Strategic Foresight Initiative talked about the increasing number of people in urban areas close to coastal areas in the country. So we're going to have this migration of people. Unfortunately, we're going to have increased poverty, and we're going to have different ways in which people interact and relate to one another because of technology. But on top of that, from an emergency management and homeland security standpoint, we're going to have increased threats and risks. So this just tells us that the evolution of risks and threats are impacted by our societal changes and our decisions as individuals. So as emergency managers, as risk managers, we have to adjust and understand this evolution and create better ways in which to respond, to mitigate, to prepare, and to recover. One of the things that some folks are talking about now is how artificial intelligence can be used to support emergency management with response and saving lives. Going back to week 15, It was an article related to, it was also talking about the future of emergency management, and also who should pay for emergency management. And Craig Fugate, there was a video there, the 7 deadly sins of emergency management. And all of this together, I wanted to show the challenges of emergency management in terms of what we face in terms of limited knowledge and information related to how we plan with all the information we don't have. One of the things that Fugate says in his video is that when we conduct our planning and conduct our exercises, we plan in order to win. Essentially, we write the plans to think that everyone at home has 3 or 7 days worth of supplies. That's not an effective, accurate plan, because we know that there's a lot of people living in poverty that barely have food for today or their next meal. So as emergency managers, it challenges us. One of our challenges is to really understand the populations that we serve and the threats that are out there. The article, Who Should Pay for Emergency Management, talks about the challenge of keeping up with more frequent and active disasters that cause more and more damages. How do we pay for that? Who's responsible for paying for that? The federal government in recent years has pushed back in terms of saying that states and local governments should be responsible for paying for more preparedness responsibilities. Billions of dollars are spent each year when we have these disasters, flooding, hurricanes, and tornadoes. How do we continue to pay for these increased costs, especially as we project more damages and more natural disasters in the future because of climate change? So understanding these unique challenges and threats and the budgetary issues is important within the field of emergency management. Week 13, the focus was on communication. You should understand the core ways in which emergency management communicates in order to enhance response. As is said many times, communication is the backbone of public safety and emergency management. You have to communicate effectively in order to identify what the needs and resources are in order to save lives. And so understanding how communication is used within emergency management and public safety is important. It'll be an element on the final exam. Social media clearly has been used as a means for connecting to more of the public. And social media has been used both to send information, but also to receive information. There's a number